So, I was sitting here between good and evil, between love and hate. I had a nap. And I really do love when I'm sure of stuff. But sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm not sure of stuff at all. And I got used to it, I can't get all depressed and go into this miserable pit of sorrow just because I don't know something. So I've been practicing doing stuff, even if I'm not sure of what to do. Like what they call following my intuition. It's a very mysterious thing, We never know if we're doing the right thing, or if we're doing the wrong thing, if we're making everything worse, or if we're in the right track. How do you know? How do you even know? You don't. So I feel this calling to start making videos, just talking. Like there's some energy that wants to start expressing itself through me. Because I do know a lot. I know a lot of stuff. But I only know it in some moments. It just comes like bling. I have not much control over it. It's like being possessed. Not in a bad way. I mean, that's relative, right? What isn't? So I'm not really sure what I want to tell you today. I know I want to tell you stuff, but nothing specific. I could sing you a song. I could make you tarot reading. I could reveal the secrets of the universe. I could dance for you. I could just explain stuff. But I have a feeling that I have stories to tell. And I'm thinking of telling you a story about the trickster. The trickster. What is the trickster? Who is the trickster? And what the fuck does he want? So, Have you heard of a Heyoka? The Native American character that did everything upside down? He was deeply respected. There must be a reason for that, right? I fell asleep, now that when I had a nap, I fell asleep listening to this video about it. Usually I don't have much patience to listen to videos that aren't tarot readings, because I have this feeling that there's a massive mystery that I need to solve, and so I need to use all of my time either to learn more about it, or to put in practice what I've learned, or to just release everything that I have just learned. So basically, that's it. It's fucking stupid, I know. So we could tell a story about a trickster. It keeps pulling us out of our path, in a way. Like making us feel like we have been tricked. We have been tricked. Have we? Are the divine detours of our life just tricks? Just errors? Are our mistakes and failures just that? Are they? What is the point of all of this? What is the meaning of life? How can we release ourselves from the burden of suffering, and also, which would be the same, the burden of perfectionism, the burden of obliging, complying, obeying tradition, stereotypes? How can we influence a culture that we just don't like? How can we create a human community that is actually satisfying and at the same time fair? There's a lot of work we need to do inside our minds, because our minds are like a prototype of the world. You know those little prototypes, the plans of the buildings, or of a building, or of a building, like a massive monument. Before it's built, it's drawn and it's made into a tiny building proportional to the one that's being projected in someone's mind. And when we look at the world as this massive thing, we feel like we have no control over it. There's nothing we can do. We feel completely impotent, but we don't like feeling impotent. And we are not supposed to feel impotent, because we are very potent. Human beings are fucking awesome machines, biological machines. And we can do anything. If we can go through the processes, the phases of the process. Most of us get stuck in some phase of the process, and we forget what we were doing, what we wanted to do, what we were trying to create or destroy. Destruction is just a part of creation. It's just like recycling is a part of creation, right? And so how can we use this wisdom in our practical lives? Well, first of all, we are too focused on the material world, way too focused on the material world. We are like architecturing and building massive buildings without making their prototypes before. And that's probably why all the buildings that we are making are going to waste. We want to manifest this perfect life that we always have money, we always have comfort, we always know what we're doing, we always know for sure that we are safeguarded and that we have our comfort. But is that what we really want? That is not bringing us the juice, the essence, the essential feelings of being alive and being actually loved. Are we ruining everything with our need to not ruin it? Are we tricking ourselves because we are so afraid of being tricked? We pray to God to do all these things for us, to keep us away from the devil, but we don't even know what is God and what is the devil. There are structures in the world, and there are structures in our mind that are foundations and have been for a very long time, and we have never even looked at them. Imagine going in and counting how many steps there are, how many floors, how high does it go, how low. You know, life is this direct access to potential. We have all the tools to manipulate the potential to create the creations that we actually want to enjoy. So why are we not doing that? Why don't we know how to do it? Just like there are structures in our mind that we don't know, there are also gaps that we don't know. We are afraid of big structures because they cause shadow, and we are afraid of big gaps. I don't know why. Why? Well, because we're afraid of falling, obviously. We're afraid of falling. But just as we can build steps up, we can lay ladders down. Or slides. We can slide. We can slide down and discover what is this gap all about. It's the same with these massive concepts of God and the devil that keep rolling through the times. What is it? What is it all about? What is it? We know there's I'm gonna say this. We know it does not exist. We know it's everything that exists is the things that we can sense, the things that we can sense with our senses. That's what exists. That's what exists. The rest exists in our ability to communicate it. When we communicate something, it starts existing. It's like if I just make a story of a character, it starts existing. But if I don't, it doesn't exist. You know? Like at this moment, I should be telling the story of the trickster, and I'm not. So for 17 minutes, I've been blah, blah, blah about the trickster. I mean, I was supposed to do it, but I'm not. I'm just speaking from myself because I exist. And I'm talking of what I know. I'm talking of what I know. So I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about my experience. Lately, my experience with my own consciousness. And my consciousness exists if I allow it to. If I allow it to. If I give it the energy, the time, the space, the love, the care to exist. If I appreciate my own consciousness somehow by giving it some feedback, you know, like when it hits me with an insight and I do something with it, even if it's just thinking it like, oh wow, I'm so happy that I just realized this. That creates a feedback, that creates an emotion in the energy that I just received. If I don't do it, it doesn't exist. Gets lost in thought. Consciousness is not thought. Thought is one part of consciousness. Nothing can exist only in thought. It's a mixture of all the elements, you know. You know the elements? It's like if it doesn't merge with the elements, It doesn't reach our senses. If it's not in line with the cycles of nature, if it does not have awareness of the directions, of the elements, of the cycles of time, if it's not located in time and space, how can it have a moment? How can it have an existence? And that's what creation is about. There's not one God that we would personify as a mighty, almighty person somewhere outside of here, creating what we're living.